tweeted me saying we're not angry, we're just disappointed.
Yes. Totally given. Anyway, Cyclops Cloud9, I think due to that, Cloud9 is going to be taking it home, but we do never know.
It's very true.
As,
you especially do never know when it comes to scorelines.
I'm still 100%, but that does not matter.
You're right. It doesn't.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
But have you and I gone for the same? No, you went for Cloud9.
Yes, I just said I think Cloud9 will win because you're a Kit Kat eater.
Yeah, I went for Cyclops. So one of us is going to be right, one of us is going to be wrong. Straight away, really interesting actually to see Cloud9 banning out Dockerbee because that's one of their favorite operators to play.
I mean, we did saw yesterday coming out as well, so it might, you know, there might be a little bit of a theme going on here as the Thatcher is also getting banned.
Well, I mean, that's just
normal.
Yeah, that's just what it is.
That's definitely a trend coming through. And the Maestro will be removed. Back at the board, or not really back at the board. Removed from the board again. English is hard.
When we saw Oregon get played yesterday, Maestro was obviously really prominent. We mentioned it yesterday. You can play him on the top floor, particularly if you can use impact tricking, if you're trying to stop the games room wall from being opened up. And Valkyrie's obviously going to be that last one there. Very common, not only for Cloud9, but just pretty much anyone who doesn't want all of that information to be gained by your opponent.
Valkyrie, most banned defense operator, and then Thatcher, most banned attack. We're both present here.
Oh, you were watching the pre-show? Yeah.
No, I've got it all written down here.
Yeah, but also we said it on the pre-show. Do you not remember?
Yeah, of course we said it on the pre-show. But I've had it written down since like 2 days ago. So.
Oh, all right.
So, you know, I was looking in the future and knew that I would need it.
Really? Somehow I don't think your future telling's that great, Hap. If I'm perfectly honest, I wouldn't own up to that.
Attackers need to locate
I just know general directions, not the not the exact details of a story. Anyway, finally, first round, we're in. Cloud9.
Yeah.
What is he? Oh, is he trying to get it in there?
He wants to electrify.
Yes, he got it in.
He wants to electrify the cabinet so that no one can steal his clothes.
No, it will actually like reach the wall.
No, I do get that.
I know.
It's actually interesting what it is that Cloud9 have decided to bring out. Something like an Ella isn't necessarily what we're used to seeing be brought particularly on this map. We have seen Harper play this operator before, but it does suggest that they are going for something a little bit more defensive, obviously with the wall denial as well. And with Thatcher banned out, it's going to be much harder to deal with the electrical that's being brought out. But one of the things they mentioned at the start was, of course, the fact that Cloud9 very much are an attacking favored team. So seeing them play something that suggests that they're going to be a little bit more defensive, I'm very interested to see, because this could kind of be a new wave for them.
A new wave. A new generation of Cloud9 with the same players. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, something that I did say about Cloud9 is somehow every single time they managed to... Okay. Quick cheeky spray through the window right there, and Anderson got the down, but he's not aware of it. I was going to say, somehow every single time when the attack, Cloud9 actually manages to find themselves in a situation with only 20-30 seconds left before they have to go for the execute, and every single time they win it, even though you would not expect them to, a Sweet Black gets taken out. So that's the first kill on the board. Cyclops take that lead, something they struggled with a bit yesterday.
The thing with Cloud9, you sort of alluded to it there, is the fact that this is a team that is notorious for requiring a few rounds to warm up. Oftentimes, you do see them a little bit slower, a little bit less coordinated in those first couple of rounds, making some silly mistakes, losing some players early, and it's always later on in the series that you start to see them pick up. The issue is here, we're in essentially playoffs. We're in the major. You can't necessarily afford to be losing those rounds.
No, you cannot, but you also kind of can. Right, the best of 3, we said it often before with G2, then they can map before they can warm up, and then they get going. This is something that Cloud9 could potentially use to their advantage now as well. That first map is, you know, you can allow it to be a bit sloppy as long as everything is picture perfect afterwards. So that is something to keep in mind. Not everything is decided on this map, of course, as the X-Kairos will be used no impact trick to try and deny, meaning Cloud9 will be having to deal with the opening of games.
Nova's in a fairly precarious position because of how many members of Cyclops look like they're moving in from a similar part of the map, from towards Master, from towards Trophy. Yes, he can sit there and try and catch one or maybe two of them out, but as they start to move in through both of those directions, that's going to make it very hard for them. Gatorada obviously below as well. It makes it look like quite a few angles are going to be held here onto Cloud9, and a lot of that pressure will be applied to them.
Seeing that the smoke falls back just a little bit. Holding off to the trophy door, but we'll be taking out Suzu, able to pick up that kill. Going to be the second one to go in favor of Cyclops as we'll be moving through, but the white swing from the white stairs will be able to pick up one kill. It's going to be Harper then to pick up the one onto Suzu as well. Keep on cutting one and through. It's going to be another one to fall. It's all up to Anaton now, but he will be able to pick up one kill at least. He's going to be able to find more. There's 7 seconds left on the clock. Needs to find the last 2 remaining players, but they're pretty spread out. Gets one. Is he going to be aware of the fact that the last one is on the white stairs? Yes, he does. Anaton able to get a clutch in. Round number 1 straight away. And that is promising for the rest of the match.
This was actually really exemplary of what we would expect from these players. The fact that MV Taylor on the side of Cloud9 got those multi-kills, he looked really, really accurate with them, really knew what he was doing, but if anyone on the side of Cyclops was going to be able to actually beat him at his own game, it was going to be Anaton. And this is something I think that we should be expecting to see more of going into this game, especially as Cyclops have proven that in those late rounds, they can be aggressive, they can push forward, they can do that. Now, they, as I said, they were well positioned to be able to apply that pressure to Cloud9, and then suddenly the pacing slowed down a little bit, and that's what gave MV Taylor the opening to be able to get those kills that he did. But as soon as then there was the space to move on forward, Cyclops don't hesitate to actually go in and take those opportunities. So now Cloud9, despite having lost that last round, they've decided that they're going to head on downstairs into the basement, playing something kind of similar in that they've still brought the Ella along, but this time they are going to be playing around the mirror. Sweet Black was, of course, lost fairly early in that last round, and it was actually really disappointing. It wasn't really part of a fight, it was just you were caught in the wrong place. If he can prevent himself from having that same fate be met, then Cloud9 might find that they benefit from 5 people on their team.
I think 5 is always better than 4 in your team. In a game of Siege, Cyclops looking to take from tower, I assume. I'm trying to find out what their game plan is here. It does look like most of the members are actually located around that area. However, Shao is right here. He's present. Going to put some pressure down as it gets droned out. Will be chased. Anaton to go for the chase. Will be picked up though this time. Shao will be low on HP, 5 or something like that. It's going to be Anaton gone. That's the big impact factor gone.
Yeah, it's going to make it so much harder for the tower stairs to be held, though, as obviously Xiao is based down in pillars, where you would expect the Jaeger to be playing. He has actually moved back a little bit, going to be going back to his shield, but with such a low HP there, if he can be cleared out, that gives so much more space available there to Cyclops. That's something the Cloud9 going to have to be very aware of, very careful of, as Ayagator starts to move in through construction. It's going to be Black Ray securing himself the next kill. That is Xiao, so there we go. There is that one hindrance down at the bottom of the stairs who has now been eradicated.
He managed to return the favor, though, putting Black Ray onto low HP himself, meaning that Cloud9, just a single breath would be enough to take him down. If it was in the right direction, that'd be.
Here's something that's really interesting. Cyclops just droned out Freezer, and they think it's clear. Nova's actually moved into it, and they're going to be expecting no one really to be based there. But if Cloud9 continue to try to rotate to make up for the fact that they've lost Xiao, it could be that that's kind of free real estate there from Cyclops if they can make an aggressive push down. That's what they're going to be going for, as Gatorada's just peeking around the corner, not yet seeing anything, but this could be an opportunity for him.
Should definitely be aware of the mirror window there, and that is definitely something you should not want to challenge, as it seems like a laundry push is imminent. 2 members ready. Barricade will be broken up. Grenade will be cooked. However, there seems to be unaware whether or not there is going to be an ADS right there. Mewjammer will be taken out. That's going to be allowing the hatch to be opened up by the Hibana, creating yet another angle. 45 seconds, Gatorada somehow managed to sneak himself into that freezer, but he's going to go pro now. He is stuck in that position. He's going to have to wait for that grenade to come through, and there it comes. Black Ray will be able to pick up that kill from the hatch, tossing it through. It's going to be opening things up and freezing. No one on that mirror window now will give them some freedom as well. Nova is going to be the man that has to defend the front line now. Has that C4 available. Envy Taylor will respond. Gatorada goes down, but instantly gets traded himself as well. Suzu will find that kill. Pre-fires on the mirror window, but it will not be coming in with anything as of yet. As the down comes in, it's all up to Black Grace on 5 HP. Is he going to be able to sneak around yet again? No, he's going to get sneaked upon himself. And as the time almost runs out, there's 5 seconds. Will he be able to win this round? The answer is no. Harper gets that final kill. It's Cloud9 to take it. Round number 2 goes to them.
An incredibly slow-paced round, given what we've seen from both of these teams before. And it seemed very much that CYCLOPS were trying to apply pressure onto Cloud9 from various different angles in a way that would force their positioning, especially once Xiao went down. Gatorada obviously positioned there in Freezer. They managed to throw in the nade to get rid of Sweet Black. That's the mirror off the window and that presence in Laundry that's been disappeared. But still, you haven't dealt with anything from the construction side where supply is. And so that meant Harper on the yellow was still able to play there in blue, while Gator was waiting outside on the Maverick, not really able to get anything. You wanted to use Black Gray to throw in the nades, but at that point he was such low HP that he couldn't really risk peeking the Laundry stairs in the way that he kind of flirted with. So it was very slow and steady there from CYCLOPS, and obviously it just didn't work out for them because by the time they did have to move in, they were so low on time that it was relatively easy for Cloud9 to just clean it up.
Again, same. Electric Claw being used. Bit of a spot to try and find that one. Oh, we'll decide to rethrow it a little bit. Maybe the thing did not come through, and it is so. Yeah, no, I have to agree. It is disheartening to see Xavier get kicked out after such an immense series. I was kind of surprised we didn't see the full 45 rounds. I mean, I kind of tried to curse it, but.
5 seconds to insertion.
You know, this is really interesting because you see Anaton's decided that he's going to be bringing the Capitão, but they are playing into Wamai. There's no Wamai ban. So the question of how much value that's actually going to be able to get there for CYCLOPS.
Yes, but with her chassis, you can also use Capitão to counter off the Wamai. You have 7 projectiles that will be caught. So if you're not really giving that much value to the incendiary bolts, you can use them to get rid of those Wamai discs, potentially putting yourself up onto a better spot to try and, you know, clear out with actual grenades, which they also have 2 sets of.
It's very true, but the question is, do you want to do that? If you want to go for something like a smoke plant, for example, you don't necessarily want to waste that utility clearing out discs. And with Envy Taylor being the player who's situated there on the Wamai, he has a relatively good KD. And by relatively good, I mean very good KD. And it's going to be significantly harder to bring him down, which means the likelihood of having those regenerating pancakes is going to be much harder.
Or frisbees.
Or frisbees, pancakes, magnets, whatever you want to call them.
Toss them like a frisbee.
I liked the demonstration. It's too bad.
I mean,
only I got
people don't see it, but there's no one else here now.
We are alone in the studio. Everybody else got sick of us. But there we go. Envy Taylor is going to be placed here in Attic, just like last time. And if he's able to get those same kinds of kills as he was last time, maybe Cloud9 will be able to pull this one out, which they failed to do on the first round.
There we go. Utility being tossed through. Some impacts to try and deal with the shield, but will fail to do so, actually. It's going to be making things a bit harder, as they also have to deal with that shield somehow. And you see Envy Taylor right there at the end of Attic, also having a shield available to him. Here comes one of the smoke arrows. It's going to be catching Envy Taylor almost off guard whilst reloading. He's not going to be able to pick up the second one, though, as Gator comes in right after, gets that refrag confirmed, making it a one-on-one now. Both CAG and C9 lost one of their players. 60 seconds left. They need to hurry for this execute.
Start moving on forward. You've got to make sure they're sending in those drones, and that's something that CYCLOPS have been doing pretty well, not only just today so far in this game, but also when they were playing against Fav yesterday, getting the trophy wall open there. And it's interesting that we're seeing a lot of attention be spent off this wall here in this region, but exactly like we saw yesterday, a lot of those pellets are going to be shot off. Not quite all of them, but it does mean Charles still can play here in Games Room, and it'll make it so much harder for CYCLOPS to move on through into Dorms. With 25 seconds remaining, this puts a lot of pressure on them to potentially get more aggressive, as they haven't been able to necessarily get what they want.
Does indeed put a lot of pressure as they're worried about someone still potentially being there in attic. There comes one asphyxiating bolt, smoke bolt right there to cover out Gator a little bit. Anderson running through. Is he going to be able to find the kill to Shao? No, it doesn't look like it. They're just going to be forcing themselves through attic right here. Nova and Harper both be able to pick up one kill. There comes the shotgun in from Nova, and he will be finishing it off with that. A double kill right there from the M59. Cloud9 will be taking the lead as they win round number 3 on the back of this M59 shotgun of Nova.
Once again, it was a case of that pressure having to be applied there by CYCLOPS. They were bottlenecked. They were forced in through that door because the Hibana pellets hadn't necessarily worked. That's what happens when you can't guarantee that that trophy wall is going to be not watched by one of the defenders. Xiao sitting there, obviously he had the smoke to obscure his vision, and that's really what allowed those two players to even make it through into attic, through the rotate into kids anyway. But regardless, you hadn't set yourself up in any way to be able to set up crossfires, prevent rotations by the defenders in the site. And that meant as soon as you're in there, you're so vulnerable. And that's why this Electroclaw that's being played on, it's not even technically on the games room wall, it's on the dresser that is affecting the wall. It's so difficult. You're not bringing Akali and you're not playing Thatcher.
Even Akali wouldn't be able to get it.
Well, yeah, no, that's very true.
Because you would be shooting it at the actual wall, and you'd be like, doesn't get popped. Let's try another one. Oh, it doesn't get popped again. I wonder where it is in that case.
It's so difficult to get rid of, and it basically means this really, really key wall.
It won't work after this game anymore, though, because everybody's going to be aware after that. So, like, people are going to be checking that closet from then on. Just pre-firing it a bit. But for now, it basically secures Cloud9 a lot of rounds. Well, not rounds, but a lot of instances where that wall will stay closed.
Well, they are going to be heading down to meeting and kitchen. This is a site that I feel like we've... I should really check the stats on this before I say it as gospel, but I feel like we've seen it more in APAC than we have in the EU. A lot of these APAC teams.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, a lot of them like to play it, but we're seeing a little bit more of dining recently.
It's region specific. Like I believe that in NA this is also the preferred bomb site, but I'm not too sure. I think in EU it's actually dining that gets chosen more, but it also depends on the team. Many of them have a different way of protecting it.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind. Because, like, for example, if you take Rogue, they have that shower hold that we so often see. Really helps out if you want to be protecting the dining itself. So, you know, it's whatever the team's like.
I really like the upstairs positioning here from Cloud9. It allows them to have that vertical presence, especially as CYCLOPS look like they're going to come in from this small tower direction. Like you just mentioned, it suggests a relatively lateral choice of attack, which means that if they don't do this roam clear now, that's going to be a problem for them later on. We've already seen how that affects them so far in this series when they leave too many of those defenders up who can win out those gunfights in the end. And that's why we're seeing Suzuki up here trying to apply some pressure through the big window. Not yet seeing anything, but of course, not too far away from those roamers upstairs.
Just holding off as Black Ray opens up. Well, the barbed wire removed. Has to push through, but he doesn't know that someone is actually playing near the bathroom right there. Also taking care of one of the mute jammers now, allowing Suzu to open up into the kitchen, and that gives you a sign of where they want to be attacking from. Black Ray peeking in right now, will be able to pick up one kill, but the crossfire will be there. Harper will be returning the favor with the SMG9, saving his SAS buddy of Nova, who could have lost his life if he did not. That leaves us in a 4-on-4 situation with 50 seconds left, meaning that Cloud9, they have a good opportunity here of taking this round as well. CAG, they barely have any control.
Really strong site presence here from Cloud9 as they were all able to rotate back there in time before having too much trouble. And they still have the presence in security. Notoriously such a hard place to lose control of. In go those smoke canisters, but a lot of damage is going to be dealt there into Nova, and he will be falling there to Ayagator as the team move forward. 20 seconds remaining, and Ayagator is going to be going in for the plant, but Harper's getting really up in his face, and there's the two downs. Make that a kill as the C4 comes into Aniton, and just about 10 seconds remaining.
Indeed, 10 seconds remaining there, and it ends right there. Shao got the last 2 kills in. I was thinking it looked really well as all the flashbangs came through into Harper, but then went off the plant, instead got downed. Lost a round after that. Cloud9 able to pick that one up as well. 3 consecutive rounds right now. That is really going to be helping them later on, as there is, of course, these 2 sites to siege that we keep on talking about every so often. If they manage to get it one more, they will be feeling really comfortable.
Now, this is really interesting because when you think of Shield teams in APAC, Cloud9's not necessarily a name that comes to mind. Would you agree, Hap?
I would agree. But as you see, there is someone who is feeling comfortable playing on that clash.
Attackers need to locate and
Would that be
defuse as
Sweetblack?
many bombs as
I
they
think
can.
it is indeed. Given the fact he chose it.
Wow. Crazy times. Unprecedented
analytics here.
scenes. Yeah. Well, no, and this is going to be really intriguing because Cloud9 obviously have been able to hold this site. And they didn't do it with a clash last time. And obviously what they did, it was a very slow and steady pacing. They were able to prevent those kind of multi-angled pushes be made in from CYCLOPS. And this time they want to be going for something different. And I really like that because it means that it gives CYCLOPS less of an opportunity to be able to adapt to what it was that Cloud9 did before. Because if they're bringing something different, then it doesn't really matter what they did last time. So I'm intrigued to see where they're going to play this clash. Some teams like to play it differently. Some play it very aggressively on the tower stairs in the back. You know, some might like to play it more towards the south side of the map. It looks like Sweetblack's... Oh, well, he's placing things in Freezer. He's not.
I mean, let's see where he is. It wouldn't be surprised if he will be rotating to Freezer later on, but it's already getting down there. Shal able to get that kill very early on. Now Sweetblack moving up these tower stairs is going to be pushing out that sledge. Will have to fall back now. Black Crate not able to get in as quickly as he would like to put the pressure back down to Shal, who just killed his teammate, and thus will be forced to fall back into meeting and start taking control of the rest of the map.
And that was obviously a really high-value kill as well, not just because those breach charges didn't have an opportunity to be used there by the Ash, but also Anaton has really wreaked havoc so far amongst the team of Cloud9 and prevented caused such a huge issue for them. Now, obviously, they're going to be seeing this enemy spotted outside appearing on their screens as Sweetblack did choose to play very aggressively, but in the meantime, they're going to be ensuring that that hatch down into electrical is going to be opened. As for the other hatches, hatch into Freezer, open there by the pellets, and once again, CYCLOPS will find that Freezer is not being held by Cloud9.
Look at the long angle though, from Cubby all the way into the mirror window that is holding off onto Freezer. It's going to be used to also potentially try and challenge in case someone will be coming down into the laundry area here. Black Ray doing some work, opening up these barricades, and Gadarada now as he tries to move into the Freezer, hopes to take control. He's not feeling too confident of it. He's going to be using his utility to get rid of that barbed wire. And look at that, the mirror window is there. They think no one is playing it, but I believe it's actually being played all the way from over inside the Cubby. Indeed, it is. Nova able to at least play it a little bit. Sweetblack will be stunned now by the Zofia, but no one is there to actually respond to it. Second mirror window will be taken out. Actually, will it be taken out? It might be. 2 pellets on it. There we go. It's indeed gone.
But here's the thing, the way that Cloud9 are positioned means that any peek that's being made around here by CYCLOPS could end up getting caught out. Especially while Sweetblack does protect Nova just behind him. That'll make it so much harder for CYCLOPS to move in from the south side of the map. Again, they're finding themselves with very little time remaining as there's under 30 seconds left and they're still yet to make the push in. It's all well and good if you want to try and be aggressive, but your key gunner isn't there anymore, and Cloud9 have proven that they can hold their own in these situations, as Envy Taylor is proving. And I don't even need to finish my sentence as Cloud9 end up with a flawless round. CYCLOPS did not even have a chance.
He did not have a chance indeed, and well, if you looked at those last dying seconds, Gio, you saw them all still rotating around, and that gives away the sign to me that it wasn't clear until the very last second what the actual plan was going to be, what the actual execute was going to be, and thus they struggled, and thus Cloud9 managed to get these last final kills in, as it was so chaotic in the end. And thus, right now, 4-1 in the lead, 3 rounds ahead.
Once again, it was a good call there from Cloud9. The fact that they decided to make the change to their defense, regardless of the fact that they did win the first time they went to that site. And obviously now going to be finishing things out on their defensive half, going back upstairs. Now, obviously, we spoke about how Cloud9, very strong attacking team, and right here they have proven to be fairly untouchable on the defense. What does that leave for Cyclops as things turn around at the half? Because really, this should have been the half that they had the most advantage on.
That is definitely going to be hurting Cyclops. However, as mentioned before, I believe that they're also proper on their defensive side, especially the last play that we've had. As Desert Shoe with his beautiful face shows up. Day 2 feels like the final on day 6. What a game. Well, we still have to get that final, and if it proceeds like this, Cloud9 is hoping to be the first one to put a lag into that one.
They're really making it look like a relatively one-sided game. This is almost the entire opposite.
Yeah, the first round was Anaton.
Yeah, the first round was Anaton, and Cloud9 since then have just been like, well, we'll just not let you have Anaton then.
Yeah.
And this is one of the concerning things. They mentioned on the desk how Blackray especially had really shown up in the game they played yesterday. I mean, where is he now? Well, actually, he's in bunker right now, but like, metaphorically, where is he now? Milo's just looking at me disappointingly.
He was drawn up with Anaton on the on terms of kills, but Anaton in the meantime already got that entry frag down. Harper has been taken down. A hot drone from Cyclops will be guiding a wallbang to come through. And Sweetblack, you have to be careful now because he's surely hunting you now as we speak. There's drones coming in and Anaton already coming in hot right here. Hoping to chase him down, hoping to put a second one onto the board, but he has to be careful as well. You cannot afford to die now, Anaton. Yes, it is your job to go first. Sweetblack is just wasting a ton of drones right here. Took down 3 already, but loses his life. Anaton able to pick up that one. A quick little happy teabag right afterwards to confirm his pleasure. With 2 minutes left on the clock, they have a 2-man advantage.
Not looking so great for Cloud9 so far on this round. As Shell and Envy Taylor desperately tried to figure out how they're going to prevent the push in from Cyclops when that eventually comes through. All 5 members remaining with all 4 frag grenades still available. Not quite going to get anyone is the one coming out from Blackray as he throws it at the floor. And so still those last remaining 3 members of Cloud9 stand. About a minute and a half they still have to defend this site. And that means Cyclops can take their time somewhat, as right now they've been relatively unimpeded.
There's the lead time, 72 seconds to be exact. Shell. Here's a drone come by, but it's not going to be able to see it, spot it, or take it out. So just will have to be careful. As Hibana's opening up now, some pellets being deployed. I believe we see a similar Electroclaw to be deployed by the likes of, oh no, still C9, so actually still the same. Electroclaw being used to make sure that the cubby or games does not open up. Nova holding off onto these vertical angles. We'll be tossing in some smokes, hoping to stop Gadarada, but with 44 seconds left, a grenade will be making that even harder as Nova dies. It's going to be a return frag though to come in. Envy Taylor will respond. The diffuser will be dropped inside of that window. That means they have something to hold on to. They just need to waste the time. 30 seconds as a new member of, well, Cyclops will be joining them. It's not going to be able to pick up the diffuser as of yet. A bit of pressure being deployed by Envy Taylor. Picks up yet another kill, but will be fully fleshed right now. Has to be careful. There comes the kill. It's going to be a double kill to come in potentially. No, it's Cyclops. Actually, it is Blackray with a double kill. We'll be able to get the final one with that M59. Cyclops find their second round. It's still a good half for both. But man, Cloud9, they looked really dominant.
Cyclops simply getting overwhelmed there in that final round before the half goes in. And as you say, Cloud9 did look exceptionally dominant on the side that we wouldn't expect them to. This is a team who have a less than 50% win rate on the defense. And they've just shown that they can stand up to the best team in Japan, a region which I think would be fairly reasonably argued that has outshone the Korean region for quite some time. But now obviously things changing here at the half, and it's going to be Cyclops' opportunity to bring things back in their favor. That said, Cloud9 are now on the attack, which falls very much into their favor. It's going to be going down to the basement for the first site, and something relatively similar to what we saw from Cloud9 is going to be played by Cyclops, choosing to bring the clash, which is going to be Anaton, who not only is one of those players that you see like to run and gun a lot, but also a good shield player, as well as the mirror.
Mirror indeed. Checking where it will be deployed. I'm not seeing the reinforcements yet into the freezer. Instead, Suzu's reinforcing upstairs, and that makes me think we might be seeing a meeting hold to come through. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case.
Seconds to go.
No, it's not the case. Okay, walks downstairs. Really disproves my point. We'll be putting at least one in cubby, and the other one will be indeed in freezer. So similar setup as you said before.
Locate a bomb and defuse it.
Different time management for it. Of course, you're like, I get what they're doing. I understand that.
This is the first time that we're going to be seeing Monty
Yes.
played. So we are going to have the clash of the shields. I was going to say the clash of the clashes, but only one of them is clash, really. And it suggests they're going to make a push in through the construction way. You can use the Monty to actually hold up quite far through into boiler down towards pillars at the bottom of the stairs. You can have a player placed directly behind them. Get some really good kills. It puts a lot of pressure on whomever may be at the bottom in pillars. You can get some control onto hallway that way as well. So if that's done well by Cloud9, then that could work for them. But actually right now, what we're seeing is them come in through the first floor instead and looking to be maybe moving down the stairs.
It could be, but it looks like they're taking this control of meeting first. Opening up these hatches, that will create an extra angle to deal with the player in Harry Potter, potentially playing up the stairs if they have full control. So that might be something they're looking forward to. Keep in mind, they have a Nomad as well, Gio, and that means that they might be able to use one of these air jets to get Anakin out of position, force him to just fly all the way back. If that happens, oh no, that Claymore might be dealing a lot of damage. No, Shao was just out in time. I thought we could almost see like a little bit of a reverse card coming out right there, walking through that Claymore with that shield, killing the owner instead.
Only a tiny bit, and nonetheless you can still see Anakin be forced back into the corner as those pings came out from Cloud9. Getting the lifeline prepared just in case the clash may be met at the bottom of the stairs there, but instead it's going to be used to rid the stairs of the barbed wire. That gives Xiao a perfect pixel angle down into what is happening below. Less than half the round is remaining though, and Cloud9 is still yet to push on really into the side as Xiao takes a decent chunk of damage for himself.
Yeah, Nova walked in front of him there as he tossed in that impact grenade. He hit him, and thus they both took the damage. That is not going to be helpful at all. Grenade will be tossed in, but 8's in by the ADS, and they know there's another ADS there. Will go for the run and tries to get the kill. Will get it as well. He's going to be stuck behind the pillar now, though. Needs to be careful. The Monty will be pushing through, and that gives him the opportunity to try and peek down the left side. As Gadarada will be able to pick him up. Envy Taylor gets a response onto him, though. It's going to be a 3-on-4 situation, as Cyclops will be trying to hold off the forces of Cloud9, who do have that one-man advantage right now. 30 seconds. We are slowly counting down as the Monty is trying to push through. C4 will go through. We'll be able to pick up the kill onto the diffuser. Harper will go down. 3-on-3. No one air jet will go off. Aegate will be soon out of play as he gets taken out now. It's all up to Black Gray in a 1v3. He goes aggressive. C4 reigns over, but will be shot mid-air by Envy Taylor. He needs to go aggressive, but Shao picks him up. It's Cloud9 to take down round number 7. And with that, they will be one round away of reaching match point.
Yeah, this has been so swift for Cloud9. And actually a lot of that round, I did wonder if they were going to be able to do it because obviously it was a very one-dimensional push. There was no one providing any kind of pressure in from Freezer, in from Laundry. I was thinking you've still got the Goyo present there. There's nothing coming up from behind. You're going to be forcing the defenders back, but you're not necessarily ending them. But once the defenders had used the utility, like those impacts that you mentioned, like the C4s, especially that one that ended up getting shot out of the air, there wasn't really all that much that Cyclops had to throw at Cloud9.
Except a body, a single body.
Well, exactly. And even then, like, all they really required was for Sweetback to stay alive because that shield was still up. There was still something that had to be dealt with and had to be aware of that prevented such access to the attackers. And as you say, Hap, that means that now there's only one round away until match point.
One round away, Cloud9 showing their attack strength. Even though they might take a while, you think, 20 seconds left, is it going to be enough for them to come through? Yes, it is. And here again, see that knife kill. Nova instantly going crouch to get a better angle on shooting these feet. Gets the kill onto that clash as well. That opens things up. Keep that in mind, because that is basically all pillar control gone. And we say it so often, pillar/boiler control for the attackers. If you have that, you're set to win the round.
Locate a bomb and defuse it.
Well, obviously, the Monty worked out so well for Cloud9 that they've decided to bring it once again, except this time, obviously, going upstairs. Slightly different approach is going to be adopted by Cyclops to what Cloud9 did. They're going to have the Pulse to be able to provide that extra information, which they may indeed require. But of course, you could play him downstairs, have the C4 available to you, because that is a significant counter to the Monty. As well as that, you have the Bandit that's going to be played by Black Ray, and that means that those Bandit batteries are going to be on the wall instead of the Electric Claw. But if you are going to have the Pulse playing downstairs, he could prevent the opportunity for Cloud9 to move in downstairs, shoot the batteries out from below, and make it significantly harder for that utility to be removed.
Oh, look at the bullet hole right there. Beautiful shot. Anaton able to pick up Shao. Very long angle as well as Medic's portrays here. Absolutely disgusting.
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 It's disgusting.
Sorry, I do not speak accents.
All right, well, you're right. That was a very disgusting shot there, and it does mean that Xiao, who has been one of these top fraggers not only today, but also throughout the season, is no longer going to be available there for Cloud9. Now, luckily, MV Taylor still is, so if they do want that gun power, he can still be there. But he's obviously got to ensure that all of those air jabs are going to be placed first. He's got to keep his priorities in check. He's still got one in his pocket. As the Monty starts to come in through Attic and Cyclops prepare for the push.
Why does no one care about Attic? They're just allowed to freely move through. Get someone up there as well in T3, so that's not an issue. You have to say that their setup is all the way rotated around, holding that as his grenade now comes in. Nova able to pick a Black Ray. And that leaves us with 60 seconds left. The player playing on that game's wall has been removed, and that gives the opportunity to Harper to actually open up. And right now they can go for a pinch. We have Envy Taylor on the kid's window. We have Sweet Black moving through Attic. C4 will be baited, but will not be able to get anything. Another one will be deployed. Also, will not be finding any joy. And that means there is little to no denial left. We have nothing left, actually. Everything has been used. They need to actually go for the gunfights now. There's no more utility that might help them, as Gatorado will be able to pick up Harper. I believe that the presence in T3 is actually going to be, well, removed now as Envy Taylor tries to win the gunfight. Anaton picks up yet another kill, and suddenly it's all up to Nova and Envy Taylor now. It's the two of them that need to find it in the last 20 seconds. The question is, will they? As they're trying to, well, fight in every angle they can find, but no one is showing themselves on the likes of Cyclops, Athlete Gaming. In the last 8 seconds coming through, surely it will end in the likes of Cyclops, and indeed it does. Susan and Gatorado will be able to pick up the last 2 kills. Cyclops put a round on the board.
There were a number of concerning things on that round there for Cyclops. The fact that it was so easy for Cloud9 to be able to bait out the vertical play that they had planned for themselves. The fact that Cloud9 were able to get the games room wall open so early, which was obviously something that Cyclops failed to do, or actually didn't even attempt to do when they were on their attack. Now, obviously, at the end, there wasn't really much utility remaining for Cloud9. As we saw the Maverick sneaking around, it was Nova who was playing him. Not any other frag grenades were available on his side, so it's not like you could throw those in, and they were running on very limited information as to the locations of those remaining players of Cyclops. And obviously, Cyclops, they managed to take advantage of that situation, but up until that point, it hadn't really been going in their favor. Now, it's obviously great for them that they've been able to put another round on the board, but with Cloud9 having had such a strong game so far, it makes me question whether something like that will be allowed to happen again, or if Cloud9 will just tighten things up, tighten the screws, and prevent that.
Well, we talked about not having any utility left to cancel out a plant or anything like that in the last round for Cyclops, except for the buddies. And look at it now. We have 2 Yokais on board, we have 3 smoke canisters and 1 C4. So there's plenty of it now, together with a clutch to stall it out, to really force it into these last couple of dying seconds. And who is playing it? It's Anaton.
Of course. Anaton, the shield master. I actually really like this. I said yesterday how this is arguably my favorite site on this map. I think that the way that the shower hold is done by each team is really interesting, can be very intricate. But the fact that they've put so much utility, obviously, into holding showers, and you're going to have a clash in the next room over as well, it makes it significantly harder for the push to be made in, at very least through from small tower if that's what they decide to do. But actually, as it stands, it looks like Cloud9 are going to be going for an alternative route.
The touristic route, you might say. Going for the top floor, not directly. Cutting in from the small tower or the meeting room. We'll just be trying to find out where these players are located at. Opening up into attic, but it is reinforced into the kids' bedroom. It will give them, however, another angle to possibly play with. Having to be careful of A-Gator playing downstairs. So last round, how he just tossed up that C4. Might be able to do that yet again if he is certain that he will be able to pick up a kill with it. And Anderton just stalling it.
The risk that Cloud9 are going to find here is how long is this clear going to take, and when is it the Cyclops are going to decide that they want to make the rotate back down. And even then, while Sweetblack may be carrying a G8 in hand, if he gets downed and you suddenly no longer have your IQ able to find the Yokais, that's also going to make your life so much harder. Kids' wall is going to be open. That could allow them to get the angle in. It's going to be Nova starting things off with the shot onto Gatorada. So there's your Echo down, but make that Nova as well, as the Maverick is taken out there by Blackray.
It's a good trade though, very in favor of Cloud9 in their playstyle. They like to push in the last dying seconds, and taking care of that Echo is definitely going to be helping you. However, they need to get some kills in now. They need to get some openings up, and they know that that Clash is playing there, but it's going to be really hard to try and contest them. They need to get them from two different angles, but someone is still playing in top wide as well, and that means you need to go for him first. But if you do that, then the Jaeger is there to cover it all off as Blackray gets tagged, trying to rotate out. Now he's literally stuck. He's sandwiched. One upstairs, and Envy Taylor right here coming in from the back. Will be jumping in, but will be downed, and that means that they can move through. It's another kill to yet come in. Sweetblack, however, will be responding onto Blackray. He's going to be able to pick up yet another kill. Double kill to come through. The last two remaining members of Cyclops are now going to be finding themselves on the top floor, whilst Cloud9 is getting that defuse on the way. And these vertical holes will not be helping them, as the Clash will be dropping through. This is something they have to be careful of, though, because he is going to be able to find and feed all his information to the Jaeger, who just has to play it very smartly. This shield is something that could save them the match.
Yeah, Cloud9 is still going to have to deal with these two players, regardless of the fact that they've put the diffuser down. The Clash, of course, is going to be a problem, especially with the protection that she can apply to Suzu-C. But Suzu-C is still upstairs and doesn't necessarily have the right sights in, and Anderton has been down. Could this make it so much harder? Just about 7, make that 6-5 seconds to go before it's even going to be possible to get the diffuser, and he's going to be starting that off. Sweetblack, all he has to do is move on in, and that's around there for Cloud9.
A 4K for Sweetblack right here in this one round, able to, well, basically get Cloud9 through. Gets the kill, the revenge kill onto the white stairs, which basically alleviated a lot of pressure onto the likes of Cloud9. Cuts into side, gets a second headshot onto the side player who had a C4 in hand. And after that, just finishes it off himself as the plant goes down. So Cloud9 find themselves on a match point, or map point position, I have to say. And not just one map point, it's 3. Or 3.
You remember when you were talking about 7 threes?
There we go.
This could be that.
I was ahead of my time.
Is that what they call it? I mean, I think it's actually really cool that we've seen that come out from Sweetblack. Sweetblack, who actually ended stage 1 on a -21 KD. Not necessarily been the Envy Taylor of the team. Well, obviously, you know, because Envy Taylor's been the Envy Taylor of the team. But the point is being able to see him
really now?
put...
Attackers need to
Would you say that Charlotte's the Charlotte of the team in that case?
Yeah, Nova's the Nova.
Oh, all right. Well, there we go. We managed to hammer it down.
Yeah. What about Harper?
I think he's a Harp 3R. XD.
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 XD, bro.
It's in his name.
I know.
I'm just saying that I get disappointed eyes, so I had to.
Again, some
Say
sarcastic
it.
popping, which I don't appreciate the sarcasm. Cyclops, they're going to be coming down to the basement, and they have done this before, and they didn't win it. It was Cloud9.
Oh, was it? If Cyclops didn't win it, who won it then, Gio? It's Cloud9 indeed.
Stop being like that.
Oh, well. Anyway, let's see how they attack it this time. It seems to be that Laundry could be the focus point. Maybe together with Fraser, as 1 or 2 members are commuting themselves over to that area. Just to get their work done.
I like that Sweet Blacks decided to bring the Capitan. This is something that we didn't see before, and I mentioned before how Cyclops had a particularly one-dimensional, Cloud9 had a particularly one-dimensional attack onto Cyclops, which, yes, while it worked, not something you can necessarily always rely on, but being able to bring the utility of the Cap could allow them the opportunity to actually flush out some of those defenders in a way that they didn't have on their side before. They were, of course, playing the Monty last time, which they don't have this time, so you won't have the opportunity to just force a shield into the faces of the defenders. So having those other ways of being able to do that, especially going against the Clash, could be incredibly valuable.
Grenade there, you could argue it's wasted, but it's also going to be giving him an opportunity to fall back. We'll be taking care of some of the barbed wire, but it's not really how you would like to use that grenade, as the next one is going to get cooked, but that will fall nowhere near close of the shield of Anaton. Meaning that is some pieces of utility gone, and keep in mind how many drones Cloud9 already lost. They lost 6 drones, actually, meaning only 4 are left. Aegator will be starting things off. Sweet Black goes down. Shao, however, just moves in. Is not going to be able to spot that Suzu, as he eventually does, however, get the kill. Cloud9 collapses their fingers and will be able to get in quite some kills as Nova cuts across, but they're not aware of the fact that both these players are in the freezer right here. The plant is going down. There is no C4 left in Aegator. He needs to go for the peak, and there is a Cloud9 member prone on the ground. It's Cloud9 that will be winning it. Round number 10 goes to them, and it is 7-3. As I said, ahead of my time.
Ahead of your time, sure. That was a really decisive victory there for Cloud9, especially on that final round. And I think that Cyclops missed out on a couple of opportunities there. I mean, Suzuzi, who was hiding behind the washing machine, whatever.
I don't know how he didn't see it.
Yeah, well, I was thinking Shell is right there. Envy Taylor placed down the air jabs so that they could pick up the diffuser and